Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. Um, for those of you who don't know who I am, I think by now most people know who I am. I'm Dr. Maisha, and I am your mind remapping NLP master practitioner and trainer, teaching you all things brain behavior and principles of the unconscious mind. But today, I want to talk a little bit about the kinds of people, the kinds of relationships that you really need to grow in your life. All right. So, if you are with me live today, y'all know I like to um, see you when you're live. So go ahead and type hi in the chat box. Let me know that you're here. All right, let me know that you're here. And if you are catching the replay, make sure you type hashtag replay in so that I know that you passed through and were listening. But again, go ahead and type live if you are live and say hi. And so what we're going to talk about today are the four type of relationships that you really need to grow in your life. Now, just a few weeks ago, I was on a conversation with my mentor with our group, and he was saying that you actually need three kinds of people in your life to grow and to maximize your growth and development, and especially in your business. And the three people that he mentioned are the people who are sort of one step or many steps ahead of you. Those would be considered mentors. The people who are sort of at your level, which would be like your colleagues or fellow industry people, and then people who are trying to get to where you are, which would be sort of like people you mentor, that are mentees to you. And I really loved that when he said that. I hadn't thought of it in that way, and I thought about my life, and I thought, okay, well, yeah, I think I have people on each of these levels. And so then I was on an interview though with a colleague and another sister fellow physician coach with me, Dr. Omalar. Shout out to Melanin Moms in Medicine. Later that week, and we were talking about creating supporting relationships and again business and entrepreneurship, but this really is applicable to all areas of life. And she mentioned that there were four kinds of people that you need in your life to help you sort of grow and develop. And so I'm going to go through, she said mentors, mentees, support people, and then she added beneficiaries. And I loved that too. So what I want to do in this video is sort of break down and look at both of these because I think there's a lot of crossover, but there are some slight nuances. And I want to break them down because I think when we look at growing and developing in our lives, we do need to think of the kind of people that we're surrounded by. One of my friends and colleagues, shout out to Dr. Mike Wu Ming, he always says you are the sum of the four or five people who are in your inner circle. And I think to a lot of extent that's true. So let's talk about these people, all right? So when my mentor said that you need to have these people who are ahead of you, who have gotten to where you want to be, which in Omalar's category, I believe would be Dr. Omalar's category, I think would be the mentor. I think it's important to have the mentor in your life because you need these people who show you that that place that you want to get is possible, right? And these are the people who push you beyond your comfort zone, who cause you to step up a level and really step out there. And then they also are people who keep you accountable, right? So these mentors, they challenge you to keep striving for the best and they let you know that what you want to attain is possible. Now, on the flip side, if you have too many people in your life who are mentors and not enough of the other categories that I'm going to speak about, then there is an impact of that. And we'll talk about that towards the end. Now, then the second thing, so there are your equals, your colleagues, your industry people. And these are people with whom you have a shared experience, all right? And these relationships, I think, in the category of support people, they can actually be supportive people, but these are also people with whom you can all push together. You, again, shared experience. For example, I have a girlfriend of mine who is a fellow coach. She's not a physician. She's in a different industry, but we have been friends for many years. And we have driven each other. She has been a committed listener for me, and have challenged each other to grow while both maintaining mentors to help pull us up to that next level. So it's important, to have the mentors, but it's also important to have your equals or your colleagues who are either inside of the industry or doing something similar that may be outside of the industry. All right. So now, while those colleagues or those equals can be support people, there are likely also going to be, and this is the third thing that Dr. Omalara mentioned, there are also going to be support people who are not only not in your industry, but have nothing to do with what you're doing. These are people who are your cheerleaders. These are people who they just support you in what you want to do. They are there for you. They're your committed listeners. They lift you up when you fall. They are people in your life, like maybe partners or spouses, or they may be people who are your friends, even your parents. They can be cheerleaders. They can make sure that when you need that self-care, they're there for you. And we all need to have those support people in our lives, because a lot of times when you have industry people, when you have mentors, their job is to push you forward. But we all know that life, and especially entrepreneurship, is a roller coaster. And sometimes you do need to just take a step back, and you need to have that person that you can just lay your head on their shoulder and they can tell you it's all going to be okay. So it's important to have those support people in your life, those committed listeners that see you through every emotional space that you're going to be in, and allow you to be just be where you are. All right. And then finally, I think, well, so then there's the fourth thing, right? Which is mentees. And that was another commonality. And this is kind of self-explanatory, right? These are the people who are trying to get to where you want to be. And it's important to have mentees for a couple of reasons. I think when you have mentees, whether there be people who you sponsor and you're just mentoring in that way, or people who are, you're coaching, I think that when you have mentees, as you teach, you fortify the knowledge within yourself, and it makes you more confident. And also, especially when you're mentoring and you're sponsoring people, it's an act of service. It's an act of paying it forward, and it speaks to, especially for us who are in helping professions, this desire to be a contribution to others. Now, finally, the thing that I hadn't thought of before, which when my interview with Dr. Malara, she added, was the beneficiary. And I think this type of person, it really speaks to doing something meaningful. Having a beneficiary, that would be your clients, your patients, the people you're serving, the industry customers or consumers that you're serving. These are the beneficiaries in your life. And I think that when you have these type of people, it does give you a sense of meaning and a sense of purpose, that you are making an impact, and it pushes you to grow, because if you're doing it right, you will always be growing and expanding to provide new innovative solutions for those beneficiaries, and they will be asking for them. They'll be asking for more as you continue to produce. So on the one hand, I think having beneficiaries speaks to really having that meaningful, that purpose. And when you have that purpose, you'll continue, the creativity will continue to flow. You'll enjoy what you do, but it also speaks to growth and expansion, because you'll be fulfilling upon the needs, the expanding needs of your beneficiaries, and that'll cause you to grow. So mentors and beneficiaries both cause growth, but in different realms. And so you really need a balance of all of these people in your life. These, I said 4, but it's really 5 types of people in your life. And an imbalance of these people leads to you possibly being stagnated. So now I said that I would share with you what happens if you have too much or too little of each of these in your life. So if you have just an overabundance of mentors, but no colleagues, or, not enough of the mentees, then you're constantly going to be surrounding yourself with people who are so far ahead of you. And after time, that can actually be discouraging. After time, that can actually make you feel like a failure, even though that's not the case, right? And sometimes it can have things going over your head. So you might not be able to relate all the time to what your mentors are doing. So it's good to have mentors, but then you want to also have the balance of the other four. When you only have people in your life who are your equals, who are your colleagues, who are your people who are doing exactly what you're doing, then there's no room for growth, right? If you have an overabundance of those, but not enough mentorship, then everybody's kind of doing the same thing. And maybe everybody's holding you accountable, but nobody's at that next level where they can give you the guidance that is needed to get to that next level. So it's important to have colleagues and equals, but you got, again, not so much of an overabundance and an underabundance of mentorship. Then on to the support systems. Well, it really kind of seems obvious if you have your mentors and you have your colleagues, but you don't have any support systems. It can be really lonely when you are feeling like you have to keep the strong face on all of the time. You need people where you need people in your life who are going to support you when you take your mask off. Because let's face it, when we're out there and you're showing our best selves to the world, to our mentors, to our colleagues, to our beneficiaries. So when we come home, life is still happening. We want to have people in our lives that when we are ready to kick our feet up, we just need someone that will be there to help encourage us to make sure we're taking care of ourselves and to support us and be our cheerleaders, even if they're not in our industry. And then, of course, there are the mentees, and you always want to have mentees. You want to always want to be paying it forward. That's just part of the karma. And finally, if you have no beneficiaries, then you can be working towards something, but you're not exactly sure what that purpose is. Who's benefiting from it? And if you're not sure who your beneficiaries are, then sometimes it can leave you kind of scattered or all over the place. So it's important to have a balance of all four of these. And of course, I'm going to give you homework because that's what I do. Who are these people in your life? Who are these people? And do you have a balance? Do you have a balance of mentors, mentees, colleagues or equals, support people, and beneficiaries in your life, right? If you only have beneficiaries and you don't have any of the other stuff, then you're just giving until you tap yourself out. Same thing with mentees. If you only have mentees and you don't and beneficiaries, but you don't have colleagues, support people, or mentors, and you're giving, you're not growing, you're giving until you tap yourself out. So who are these people in your life, and is it balanced? And if it's not balanced, who do you need more of? Do you need more mentors? Do you need more equal colleagues? Do you need more support people in your life? Do you need to sponsor or mentor someone? Or do you need to streamline and get clear about who the beneficiaries are? Post in the comments and let me know, all right? And also, just if this makes sense, type in comments, makes sense. Type it with me in the comments, type it makes sense. So it's, I just wanted to bring this on because I think that sometimes in our lives, we forget that we don't do anything by ourselves completely. We are a community of people. And we don't, like I know for myself, I haven't gotten as far as I've gotten and grown the businesses that I've grown and been as successful as I've been by myself. There's no way. There's no way. I've done a lot by myself. It doesn't mean I haven't done the work. I've done tons of work. I've done, gone to medical school. I've done the work, the academic work. I've done the personal development work. I've done the business development work. I've done a lot of work, but let's be clear. When we rise, as we rise and we grow and we develop and we become successful and we become financially abundant, we are doing these inside of a community of people. And we want to recognize that and make sure that we're intentional about putting these, surrounding ourselves with a healthy, a healthy community of people who will continue to further our growth, whatever category they are in. Okay. So that is my message for today. You all know where you can find me, drmaisha.com. If you need to know, if you want to take advantage of any of my resources, the Remap Your Mind for Success, the business and entrepreneurship resources that I have there, and even the sales resources that I have there. You're welcome to download some of the free resources. And of course, if you feel like you need a little bit more one-on-one work, helping to get rid of your limiting beliefs, your imposter syndrome, or even just helping to learn how to communicate with more ease and power and freedom in your life, then you can schedule a mind remapping reset call with me, drmaisha.com/meet me. So you guys type in the chat box, who are your mentors? Who are your mentees? Do you have these people? Are you balanced? Who do you need more of? That's what I want you to type in the chat box. Who do you need more of? You need more mentors, you need more mentees, you need more support people, you need more beneficiaries. What is it that you need? And what are you going to do today to begin to get these people in your life? All right. Because this is not about just another insight. This is about taking action in your life. So are you going to take action today? Type yes in the chat box. Let me know. And I definitely will see you next week when we continue on belief change and empowering your unconscious mind. All right. Have a great one. Stay safe. And I'll see you on the next live stream.